Well, let's talk to political presentation coach Graham Davies, who's coached many cabinet ministers, former cabinet in your time. He could, if he'd wanted to, Keir Starmer, say, to hell with this, I ain't turning up. The polls are showing him 25 points ahead. That's before the Nigel Farage is factored in. It's his to lose, isn't it?
It very much is. He's got everything to lose in a debate, whereas Rishi Sunak is desperately trying to gain everything. The problem, though, for Sunak is that TV debates very rarely offer the chance to hit a knockout blow. There might be some decent point scoring, but it's most likely to end up as a grubby no-score draw.
What does Sunak have to do to try and get even a 2-1 win?
Number one, he's got to change his attitude from being tetchy and annoyed when he's asked a difficult question to being more positive, a sort of come and have a go if you think you're hard enough, but without going so far that he's actually interrupting Keir Starmer, because he tried that with Liz Truss in the TV debates. Really backfired a lot. So he's got to be assertive without being rude. That's number one. Secondly, I would advise him that, of course, you can't come out with spontaneous new policy ideas in a TV debate, but he does have to find some new phrases, some new words to describe the old ones. I don't think anybody's going to be persuaded by him trotting back to, I'm concerned with delivering for the British people yet again.
I've got a plan. I've got a plan. I know, so boring.
I'm going to keep trotting it out.
And there is a fourth thing, which would be interesting for both of them, actually. Ideally, depending on the format of the debate and the attitude of the moderator, Sunak should try and find a way of directly facing Starmer and asking him genuinely difficult questions. I don't mean the PMQ's pantomime questioning, but to actually try cross-examining the KC. But of course, Starmer would be advised to try doing that himself to see whether he can pick holes. Now, I don't think either party is very keen on that approach because they both know that intensive cross-examination is dangerous for them. And also, I suspect the moderator might not allow it. But that would turn this into the Wild West.
Graham, we talked about this yesterday, and we made the point, didn't we, that it was for Starmer to lose, even if it was a narrow points victory for Sunak, not a knockout blow.
Definitely not a knockout blow, and indeed, it wasn't compelling TV either. It was like watching two chartered accountants squabbling over a calculator. And we had two candidates, one of whom was trying to channel Tyson Fury, and the other, who at his most animated was more wooden than a park bench.
And the latter being Starmer?
Indeed.
Right, OK.
Yes, indeed.
Just to clarify.
What I don't get about that, Starmer is an accomplished lawyer. He rose the ranks to become Director of Public Prosecutions at KC. Why is he not better in that gladiatorial role?
A Crown Court is a very quiet, calm place. You don't get heckled and interrupted, except occasionally by the judge. He seemed out of place there in the TV debate format. He's got a quiet voice. He's got a sort of back foot attitude. Sunak was deliberately trying to be as interruptive as possible. It certainly put Starmer off, but the key thing is, in the details of that poll that you quoted, I'm not sure that Sunak came across as overly likeable.
There was no lightness, there was no humour at all, Graham, was there? And I think the British public, we have a very good sense of humour, even in the darkest of days, and we're looking for someone to at least make us smile.
Because Boris would have made us laugh at least once.
The only laughter they stimulated was, frankly, when the audience were laughing at them, especially Rishi Sunak.
Yeah.
The most effective words that Rishi Sunak came out with during the entire evening were four words which he repeated again and again. What would you do?
Yes.
And ironically, he was very good at propping up his cross-examination skills with adrenaline in a way that Keir Starmer wasn't.
Yeah.
And Starmer's answers to what would you do, were really quite vague. But the weakness of the Tyson Fury approach from Rishi Sunak is that he's very good at the TV debating technique, which is say it, support it, shut it. But he doesn't realise when he needs to stop talking.
Yeah.
When he's made his point, he keeps going. And therefore, we had an awful lot where he seemed to be completely ignoring the rules. And unfortunately, the moderator was like a struggling supply teacher not wanting to shut up the rich head boy.